I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child got badly.
They did check them?
Yes, sir.
This is official that they're dead?
Is that the last time you talked to him?
Yes.
You know, I tried to turn him over, and, I don't know, I figured it out.
There was blood, there was brain, skull, hair, and there's nothing on him.
In the heart of the picturesque low country of South Carolina, a story has captivated the nation, bringing with it an air of mystery, intrigue, and scandal. The Murdaugh family, a respected legal dynasty, suddenly found themselves thrust into the harsh glare of the spotlight. But what's even more shocking is the accusation that one of their own, Alex Murdaugh, stands accused of a heinous crime that forever changed the course of their lives: the murder of his wife and son. Millionaire Alex Murdaugh comes from a long line of prominent lawyers whose names were synonymous with the law in their marshy area of the Deep South for almost a century. But his illustrious reputation was shattered one night in June 2021, when he called police to report that he had returned home to discover his wife and younger son dead of gunshot wounds outside the kennels of the family's 1,700-acre hunting estate. There looked to be two attackers. His wife Maddie, 52, was slain by 4 shots from an assault rifle, and his son Paul, 22, was shot through the skull with a shotgun at point-blank range. It was a shocking turn of events for the scion of one of South Carolina's most prominent families, a dynasty that saw Murdaugh's great-grandfather, grandfather, and father all serve as lead prosecutor in the state's Low Country area from 1920 to 2006. Alex was not only powerful, but also very wealthy, as the owner of a private legal company whose relentless pursuit of personal injury claims had made him a fortune. But the family tragedy was about to become a lot darker, placing the bear-like redhead in the dock in a double murder trial that has suddenly riveted America. Not only was he accused of murdering 2 members of his own family, but his purported reason was so cold-blooded that it defied belief. Prosecutors have suggested that the 54-year-old killed his wife and kid in an effort to gain sympathy and rescue himself from being exposed as a major fraudster in a courtroom where a photograph of his grandpa used to hang, until a judge ordered it removed for the length of the trial. The intricate case, which includes 2 additional killings and countless complicated financial charges, has true crime fans and filmmakers alike waiting each day to get inside the courthouse in Walterboro, South Carolina. It seemed to have everything for them: vicious attorneys, allegations of political corruption, multi-million-dollar fraud, a deadly boat mishap involving a beautiful young lady, and even an alleged murder attempt on Murdaugh himself. At its heart is a guy whose propensity to burst into tears during testimony might be nothing more than a blatant ruse by someone accused of the most cunning and horrible behavior. He was crying again yesterday, this time from the witness stand, when he defied his attorney's advice and testified. "I never shot either my wife or my kid. Never," he cried. He did, however, reveal to authorities that he lied about not being in the neighborhood of the kennels on the night of the killings, citing his drug-induced paranoia. He told the court, quoting Sir Walter Scott, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave. I had to keep lying after I uttered the lie and informed my family." Murdaugh, whose name is pronounced Murdoch rather than murder, has denied murdering his wife and son in a trial that is now in its 5th week. The defense has presented him as a loving father and husband who would never consider slaughtering his family. The prosecution claims that Murdaugh, who stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, committed the murders to escape personal, legal, and financial devastation by diverting attention away from proof that he defrauded customers and his own business of millions of dollars. He also faces more than 100 accusations, mostly of insurance fraud and theft, to which he has yet to enter a plea. However, all sides agree that the tale of the killings began 2 years earlier, on the night of another sad tragedy. Alex's son Paul Murdaugh, then 19, took out the family's 17-foot-long fishing boat with 5 pals one night in February 2019 for a brief booze-laden ride around the South Carolina coast. In the early hours of the morning, when returning home in heavy fog, The vessel collided with the pilings of a bridge before collapsing onto a bank with a broken hull. Only 2 of the 3 people pushed into the frigid water survived. The corpse of the third, Mallory Beach, 19, was discovered a week later in a nearby wetland. Paul Murdaugh, a troubled adolescent described as a teenage Caligula, was an angry alcoholic who was supposedly piloting the boat when it capsized. Despite his powerful family's reported efforts to persuade survivors of the accident that Paul was not at the helm, he was charged with 3 counts of boating under the influence, resulting in death. Although the case was never heard in court, an example, some say, of the Murdaugh's influence, Mallory Beach's family filed a civil complaint against Murdaugh, saying he was accountable for her death because he leased his son the boat and ignored his underage drinking. A hearing for this civil matter had been set only days before Murdaugh's wife and kid were slain. Crucially, it would have compelled Murdaugh to furnish a complete financial picture, which may have shown that he was defrauding his clients. The civil suit's lawyer had explicitly asked his wife Maggie and son Paul to testify about the allegedly drinking lifestyle on the Murdaugh hunting estate, known as Moselle, where young kids were allegedly permitted to wander about inebriated. Prosecutors suspect Alex killed them not just to prolong the civil action, which the deaths did, but also to divert attention away from himself by implying that the Murdaughs were targeted by persons seeking to revenge the loss of Mallory Beach in the boat tragedy. Indeed, during his trial last week, video footage from the body cameras of police officers who responded to the killings was displayed. It shows an obviously upset Alex Murdaugh providing his opinion on the likely motivation. It's a lengthy tale. "My kid was involved in a boat disaster months ago. He's received threats," he claims. "Most of it has been harmless. We didn't take it seriously because, he's been being hit. I know that's what it is." To bolster the notion that the killings were carried out by persons seeking vengeance for Mallory Beach, Murdaugh allegedly staged an assassination attempt on himself. 3 months after the double murder, he contacted police to report that he had been ambushed while changing a tire by the side of the road, and that the attacker had shot him in the head. According to medical assessments, Alex was grazed by a gunshot, but as we shall find, the individual responsible was far from a violent stranger. Unfortunately for Murdaugh, a passerby saw the alleged shooting and informed authorities it was so implausible that they suspected it was a setup. This all coincided with Murdaugh's issues intensifying when his family law business, PMPED, claimed it had recently fired him for allegedly stealing its cash. Following the firm's admission, Murdaugh's lawyer went on national television to explain that, yes, his client had stolen money, but only to pay for a 20-year-old opiate addiction, for which he was now in recovery. The lawyer also called the mysterious guy who allegedly fired at Murdaugh on the roadside a liar, claiming he was a distant relative, Eddie Smith, who performed odd tasks for him. Murdaugh had requested Smith to shoot him dead and cover it up so that his surviving son, Buster, could receive an £8.4 million, $10 million life insurance policy. Only Smith, he claimed, had gotten it wrong and only managed to injure him. The problem was that Smith later told investigators that he had never agreed to murder him and that the pistol accidentally discharged as he fought to pry it from Murdaugh. In any event, skeptics say Murdaugh never intended to die and was just trying to support the argument that he and his family were targets. But what about the financial crimes that, according to prosecutors, Murdaugh was so anxious to keep hidden that he was willing to kill his wife and son? If you found this video intriguing, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on the latest in true crime and mysteries.